Alright, today we're going to talk about how to evaluate an algebraic expression. We're going to skip this bit about what you will learn, and we're going to scoot right down to reviewing some vocabulary. The directions say write a numerical expression for each verbal phrase. So numerical expression is an expression that contains numbers only. It says only contains numbers. So for example, 18 books shared equally among 6 students. 18 books shared equally is divided by 6 students. So shared equally, that was our cue for dividing. A package of 15 pencils minus 3 pencils, so you start with 15 and you take away 3, you subtract 3, minus is your keyword right there. Number 4 eggs plus 3 eggs, you start with 4 eggs plus 3 more, you add, plus again is that keyword there. Alright, some new vocabulary. If we scroll down, it's another matching. So we're going to match the terms with their definitions by drawing a line to connect the two. Variable you should already know. A variable is a letter or symbol that represents an unknown value, so those two connect. An algebraic expression. Well, a numerical expression is an expression with numbers only. An algebraic expression is an expression with at least one variable and one operation. So something like x plus 3. So those two would connect. Defining a variable. So x plus 3 really doesn't have any context. We don't know what x means, and we don't know that adding 3 would be like up here where we had a context where we added 3 pencils. We don't know what we're adding 3 to here because variable x is unknown. So in order to give your expression some context, we define that variable. So that's where we choose the variable, like x. Maybe x is the number of dogs, and the quantity it represents. So we choose that variable x, the quantity it represents is number of dogs, and maybe you adopt 3 more puppies. So that would be defining a variable. And last but not least, this year we're studying algebra. And algebra is a branch of mathematics that uses symbols, and you guys probably already figured that out between these last 2 videos. All right? So we're going to take a minute, we're going to go right over to the next page. Alright, we're going to skip this next section where it talks about describing the steps involved, so we're just going to X that one out. We're going to go straight down into evaluating the expressions. So in order to evaluate an expression, basically you're plugging in values for the different variables. So let's look at number 1. I'm going to use some space over here to the side, maybe up here at the top to do number 1. Okay, so number 1, I have 6c divided by 15. So my first step is to plug in. We know that c is equivalent to the number 5, so we have equals 6 times 5 divided by 15. So 6 times 5 we know is 30 divided by 15, and 30 divided by 15 is 2. So you're using your order of operations once you plug in, which means the answer to that question is going to be 2. Okay. Question number 2. For question number 2, we have 32 plus 4a. So again, our first step is to plug in. A is equal to 3. So we have 32 plus 4 times 3. Order of operations says we have to do 4 times 3 first. So that's 32 plus 12. And 32 plus 12 gives us 44. So the answer to number 2 is 44. All right, question number 3 gets a little bit more complicated. We have some parentheses thrown in there. So I'm going to come over here and work on question number 3. So we start with 27a minus 16 minus 3c. So again, we plug in first. We know that 27 times a is 3, so 27 times 3 minus 16 minus 3 times c, and c is 5. Okay, so 27 times 3 gives us 81. Minus 16 minus, and we can go ahead and do all the multiplication together. 3 times 5 is 15. Gives us 81 minus 16 minus 5, inside parentheses is 1, and 81 minus 1 is 80. So the answer to number 3 is 80. Question number 4 is a little bit interesting because we have a division bar. So a division bar counts as a grouping symbol in algebra, and maybe in pre-algebra as well. So in number 4 we have BC, which is B times C, so 7 times 5, divided by A plus 2. A is 3 plus 2. So 7 times 5 we can do first is 35, and then 3 plus 2 stays in the denominator. Since the division bar is a grouping symbol, before we do 35 divided by 3, we actually have to do the 3 plus 2 first. So we have 35 divided by 3 plus 2 is 5, and 35 divided by 5 is 7. So the answer to number 4 is 7. Last but not least, number 5, and let's see, maybe I could squeeze number 5 in over here. So number 5, we have 2b minus 4a. So b, we know, is 7. 2 times 7 minus 4 times a, which is 3. 2 times 7 is 14, and 4 times 3 is 12, connected by that subtraction sign, and 14 minus 12 is 2. So the answer to number 5 is 2. All right, helping you remember. Let's see, we get the whole box on there. Variable is a word used in everyday English as well as mathematics. Write the definition of variable. Explain how the English definition can help you remember how variable is used in mathematics. So I want you to pause that video, see if you can fill in this box. How can you help explain in English how the definition can help you remember how variable is used in mathematics? Alright, so hopefully you came up with something like this. So the definition of variable is something that changes. And in math, the value of a variable changes depending on the problem. That's all there is to it.